This weekend post, creating a muted, faded look for our landscape photos. Hi everyone, I'm Scott Davenport and welcome to In Post. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to dive right into today's topic about muting colors in our landscapes, and that's something that I'll do from time to time when I'm looking to create a more, a vintage look or a faded photo look. And I find this works well for photos that have been taken at closer to like mid-morning, mid-afternoon. Not so much the golden hours, because that's got its own special kind of light, but for scenes that have a lot of vibrant color, like this scene here, a lot of yellow, a lot of green, a lot of blue. But sometimes I want to create something a little different. I love the way this photo looks, but it's fun to play around with different options here. And so I'll show you a few techniques. I'm using ON1 Photo RAW for this because there's one filter in here that I do want to use to create a kind of the final look for this photo. But let me show you a few different techniques. And one is the very obvious one. So whatever package you're in, you've probably got some type of black and white filter, right? So you can add a black and white filter on and then just adjust the opacity of it. So I'll take black and white all the way off and just start to inch it up. And as I inch it up, you're going to see that the colors become more muted. And you can do different things with the color responses so you'll get a different feel for what's going on there. So before muting those colors and after. So I'm applying a black and white, but I'm not crushing it and making it completely black and white. You can do a similar thing with saturation. You could just take saturation down some, but not everywhere. I'd advise you to do that with something like an HSL control or a color enhancer control, which will be the next thing I do here, which is similar to what you have if you're a Lightroom user. You've got your different color ranges. And let's work with blue, for example. I can take this saturation down on blue, and I'm going to crush it all the way. We'll see the sky goes to nothing. But we can kind of take the edge off the blue, maybe take the edge off of the yellows and the oranges. We have more control over what we want to emphasize in the photo. Here we have some greens as well, and just to prove the point, we can push the greens brighter and darker, or I should say more saturated, less saturated. We do actually have control of brightness too. So you can play some of these games to make a faded look. Now, the reason I went into ON1 for this photo is Bleach Bypass. Now, this is a really interesting filter to create these types of muted color looks. So let me remove that and add Bleach Bypass. This is simulating something from film processing days. I honestly don't fully understand all the chemicals that went into creating prints, but there was some process that involved bleach, and there was a way to skip that step. And so that's where Bleach Bypass comes from. It's from an old film technique. And what this is doing is, at the top here, it's kind of adding a whole bunch of contrast, right? Before and after, we're seeing a lot more punch in the shadows. Some of the midtones are getting faded out. But there are a variety of different settings here. This is normal. We can go brighter. We can wash it out. We can go darker. And there's a few others in here. I kind of liked how Omaha Beach looked to begin with. This is super strong right now. But I created my own, which you can see here. I'm going to show you how I got there because there's a few things we can do. So let's choose this. And I wanted to back off the amount straight away because that was just too much. I didn't want to have all of that color removed, just some of it. Can still brighten things back up, leave the contrast where it was, and then tint-wise, we can actually add a tint. So if I take the hue down to nothing and the amount down to nothing, this is kind of what these sliders are doing. We do have a saturation control, so we can work that, and pulling it negative helps us mute those colors. And then hue lets us add a tint, and I'm going to put something up in the the yellowish green area here, maybe somewhere around there or so. Let's open up our color wheel actually and get something a little brighter of a yellow. Let's go with that. And so do a quick before and after here. And so it's just giving a very different feel to the photo. It feels like something from a different time period, something that was maybe taken 30, 40, 50 years ago. I don't particularly like what it's doing to the sky as a whole. So I have great masking capabilities here, and I'm going to use a color range mask, use my picker, choose something in the sky, And that's removing the effect from the foreground, applying it to the sky, the opposite of what I want. I can invert that. And then I can use my masking brush with reasonable opacity and kind of paint some of that bleach back in to the sky. And so end up with, just a different feel of this photo. It's more muted, and it's just another tool in our toolkit, something else we can play with. So this is before, and this is after. And it's something that is it's fun to experiment with. So if you have photos that are taken, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, a lot of light in the scene, but you have some good color, try playing around with muting them down and taking them back a little bit. It's not quite a matte look. We haven't gone into the curves and adjusted black point and white point. Just backed off on the colors, and Bleach Bypass is one way to do that. That's going to do it for this week's In Post. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, let me know somehow. Comments on the video below. Got questions about photography? Leave them in the comments, or if you want to keep it private, you can reach out to me through my website. I usually turn a response around in a day or two, so you're not going to have to wait around for another video to get a response to your question or your thoughts. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport, and happy shooting.